Alright guys, how you doing? It's Friday, November 29th, 2019. Welcome to another episode of Music of Destruction right here on YouTube. Alright, so tonight I have another album review for you guys, and tonight I'm very excited for this one. I'm bringing you a thrash metal review of the band Maze of Terror with the album Ready to Kill. And I'm super excited for this one, guys, as I hope you are as well. We are also going to check out their music video for Lycanthrope as well here on the channel, so hopefully you enjoy that. Now, Maze of Terror is a raw thrash metal band in the South American vein, founded by Hammer on drums, Leviathan, bass and screams, and later they were joined by Criminal on guitars. And yes, the band have preferred that I use pseudonyms rather than their real names, both in the review and the interview, so please respect that. I do know the names of the band members, but they do not want me to disclose them, so I'm going to respect the gentleman in Maze of Terror. Now, in June of 2012, the band released the EP Skullcrusher on Capricorn Records, which was later reissued by Total Disaster in Argentina. Now, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for all notifications. I would greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to join the Facebook group, go to facebook.com/groups/music of destruction. I'd really appreciate it if you have a band, metal merch store, you run a label, you're a metal YouTuber, or you're just a fan of metal in general. Please join the group. We'd love to have you. If you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, just search Music of Destruction. If you'd like to get access to my exclusive patron-only podcasts, The Seed, then consider supporting the channel through Patreon. Go to patreon.com/music of destruction. Now, the entire history of Pantera parts 1 through 3 are up there right now, so make sure you guys check that out. Now, there is going to be another upcoming series, obviously, on the Patreon page. I don't know what I'm going to cover yet. I'm coming up with some ideas for another series of podcasts, so stay tuned for that. And thank you very much for your support over there on Patreon. Now, a tour of South America would take Maze of Terror to Bolivia, where they opened for the Legends WHIPLASH. Yes, in 2013. WHIPLASH, for crying out loud. I mean, how fucking cool is that? They then opened for the German Legends Destruction in Arequipa and in Lima for another legend, EXUMER, in 2015. Now, EBM Records of Mexico would go on to reissue the Skullcrusher EP as a split CD with the Greek thrashers Amken. I mean, amazing, right? Now, in September of the same year, they made another tour in Bolivia, opening for the legends Toxic, MK, and Pentagram. Wow. Now, in 2016, they embarked on a tour through different cities of Ecuador, sharing the stage with big bands like Night Prowler, Conjure, Ente, and many more. That same year, they released their full first-length album, Ready to Kill, which was released in Belgium by Empire Records on vinyl and CD, and cassette format was released by P18 Records. Now, this album was distributed on tape by Never Heard Distro and CD and vinyl around the world by Soul Food. Now, in 2017, they opened for the Masters Chacal, Sadistic Intent, and Reincarnacion in Lima, of course. Now, while the album and EP are relaunched as a special edition by the label Spanish Thundersteel later that year, Nero Records of UU launched a split tape with the Californian thrashers Witch Haven. This band is fucking awesome, man. And this year of 2018, well, last year of 2018, in CD format by Seal Ragnarok Records of Germany. And in September of 2019, Maze of Terror presents EP Evoked Black Souls, which I'll get to reviewing the EP as well, because they did send that to me. Available on websites like Bandcamp and SoundCloud right now for you guys. So make sure you check that out. I'll put a link in the description to all this stuff. Don't worry. You guys are going to check out this fucking band because they're amazing. Now, here's what's really cool. And they announced their union with Extreme Music for a second album. And now in 2019, they launched a new demo called Death Worshippers. And of course, I mean, that's going to be incredible. Alright, so the album opens, and this is Ready to Kill, opens with the thrashing madness of Rotting Force, which opens with some amazing technical thrash metal blast beats, and frantic tempo, and pummeling double bass. This almost reminds me of some blackened thrash from way back in the day, which is fucking incredible. It's raw, it's dirty, it's emotional, and pulse pounding. Now this really reminds me of old school thrash metal, but with a much heavier and passionate feel to it. Thrashing insanity kicks your ass with intense blast beats, amazing solo work, and some sick fucking vocals from Leviathan. Yes, the band wants me to address them by their stage names, as I said before, which is fair enough in of itself. Now, lyrically and emotionally, this one is all about a nuclear war and the resulting destruction and annihilation of the planet itself from humanity and our obsession with destruction and death. Now, I must say that Hammer's drumming and Criminal's guitar work on this are just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is a band hell-bent on fucking making you realize what they're feeling, and the emotional impact that they have on this record is unreal. Next up, we have the track Lycanthropes, and this one is all about embracing the wildness of the spirit that is inherent in each and every one of us, and unleashing that beast within, and returning to a primal form of consciousness back when everything was so simple. It's almost a trip back to the old times when our animal instinct was the way we survived, but it's also about literally becoming a lycanthrope and devouring everything in your wake because of your primal anger, rage, and insanity, but also leaving your humanity behind and embracing the true nature of what you are in the context of what this song is describing. An ancient call to the animal beast that lies dormant in us all. So guys, let's check out the entire music video for Lycanthropes, and we'll be back. This is another killer thrash metal masterpiece that takes me back to when thrash metal was at its peak. Insane blasting, blistering solo work on this track instantly make it so memorable. It's amazing. It retains that old school feel, but also sounds modern somehow, and the production on this record is what makes it really fucking special. It's rawer than most thrash metal around this era, but it's not too clean either. It's kind of in that middle ground, and it has a nice balance that gives it a very organic vibe throughout the album. Another killer track here as well. Next up is the track There Will Be Blood, and man, does this one ever sound frantic, angry, and fucking hateful. Riffs cut like knives through flesh like conviction. Drumming pummels your skull in like a hammer bashing you into pieces, as Leviathan's vocals and bass soar overhead like some possessed madman on the brink of lunacy and insanity. Criminal's guitar work all over this album is something I should mention, as he is one of the most best guitarists I've heard as of late. Now, Hammer's drumming is also absolutely ridiculously good all over the song, and there's a ton of conviction and passion followed throughout. This one is all about death and its plague-ridden diseases and grasp on the fragility of human life. This is a band that has clearly got a lot of misanthropic ideology, and in thrash metal, that's something that is common, but obviously not overdone. Now, there's a really nice groovy melodic section midway throughout later on that slows things down a bit, but keeps you coming back for more with its catchy, hook-inducing headbanging madness. Another killer song here as well. Now, next up, we have Violent Mind of Hate, and once again, more thrashing double bass insanity with some sick vocals once again from Leviathan, with that bass and guitar soaring like crazy on this one, with some amazing buzzsaw riffing cutting through every sense you possess, and it really gets intense as the song carries along. Now, the vocals are delivered with pure venom and rage throughout this entire track, and it seems as if this band is hell-bent on destroying everything they touch with their music. I imagine Peru must be a country in a lot of economic turmoil, and if a band this pissed off is making music there. This is some of the most convicted thrash metal I've ever heard, and it really makes the modern metal scene look a lot better than it has lately. The modern thrash metal scene is definitely striking the iron hot with releases such as this one, and it's one of the most impressive debut albums I've heard from a thrash metal band, period. Yes, I said that. Lyrically, this is centered around a deep-seated hatred and rage with emotions of insanity and discord, but also intense anger and destruction and violence emitting through these savage riffs, incredible bass, and insane drumming. Excellent track here as well. Now, next up we have the track World's Dead Side. And this is another thrash metal anthem for the ages. In fact, this band might be one of the best thrash metal bands I've ever heard in a very long fucking time. Now, double bass pounds away like a jackhammer, smashing and obliterating everything around you, and Criminal's guitar work is stellar as hell on this track as well. This one is just pure fucking chaos and madness. Thrash metal is back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so happy with this band. The literal chaos that envelops you on this song is absolutely immaculate, and its execution and delivery are pure fire. Couple this with Hammer's impeccable drumming and riffs that sound like gunfire, and it's just absolutely perfect. And a voice from a depraved lunatic on the brink of mass destruction, and you have a match made in hell. And that's what this album sounds like. Thrashing madness played fanning the flames of hell and destruction of all mankind. Another song about the perils of death stalking you and breathing down your neck at every second, with no intention on sparing your pathetically fragile life. Guitar soloing on this one is absolutely perfect, and there's another slower part on this track with some incredible groovy hooks, and it sounds catchy as hell. Now, Leviathan's vocals sound venomous as ever on this track, and this is absolutely amazing. Now, I haven't found one song to complain about so far on this record. Killer fucking track here as well. Now, next up, we've got the track Bringer of Torture, and it opens with some ominous bass and a clean guitar passage that has some really eerie melodies before breaking into the thrashing madness once again. This one slows things down a bit again and has some really amazing groove going on and sounds a lot like that old Metallica groove, but back in the day when it wasn't so much about speed as it was about just good old-fashioned stomp-driven groove metal. This one also has a really crazy rock and roll Motorhead feel to it, and I absolutely love that to death. Hammer knows how to keep it old school, as does Criminal and Leviathan, obviously. And I'm telling you, man, Peru is where it's at for thrash metal. And if this band is at the helm of it all, then I can't wait to hear more thrash bands coming out of Peru, because this is a diamond in the rough, ladies and gentlemen. And I cannot think of a thrash band at this time that is as impressive as these fuckers are as of late. This is absolutely killer stuff, and I'm definitely buying this album as well as a t-shirt to go with it. I mean, this is an instant buy for me. Now, about midway through the track, the song explodes like a cacophonic explosion of brutality and war-bent destruction. Now, Criminal's guitar soloing on this track is ear-shredding, as is the drumming, bass, and Leviathan's sick fucking vocals. Killer track, obviously, here as well. Next up, we have the track Protectors, and of course, more thrash metal madness, brutal drumming that pummels your skull into bits, and guitars that slice flesh, and bass and vocals that sound like the tormented screams of a man lost in oblivion and mass murder genocidal tendencies close in his mind. Unreal in its ferocity, viciousness, and instrumentation, it really makes you feel like you're experiencing hell itself, but almost comes across like an ancient battle cry of pure hellacious brutality and chaos that does not let up through the album's entire duration. I mean, hell, I don't even know how they managed to keep this intensity up for 55 minutes, but they did it with nothing but pure brilliance, devotion, and emotion. Now, what really sets this band apart for me is that they know exactly what they wanted to achieve with this release, and in turn, it affects the listener positively. And we have to appreciate the work that they have put into this. Now, the 10-minute monster Giles de Reyes shows the band wanting to express their creativity with a long song. My only complaint with this one is that it was not more progressive in its execution, as it tends to drag out a little bit, but I still love it, and it pulls me back in for its entire duration. And I love the vocal effects that were unleashed during this track, as it's extra evil, and I hope they utilize it more on their next release. Now, there is not one bad song on this release, as I said, although the 10-minute track kind of does feel a bit drawn out, but that's just one minor gripe with it. I mean, it's still a perfect fucking album. It really is. Now, you will be traveling with the riffs in your cranium for days on this album, and after your first listen, and trust me, you'll be anxious to thrash with it, because I've listened to it 6 times before I did the review. That's how fucking good it is. Now, you know what's really awesome about this album? is the fact that these guys know what they were going for. They know what they wanted to do. They know what they wanted to deliver. And it's pure thrashing madness. And I absolutely love it. And I can see myself enjoying it for the next 7 months straight, whether I'm in my car, at the gym, or at home. It's an absolutely stellar release, and I highly recommend it from one maniac to another. And now we come to the final verdict for Maze of Terror's Ready to Kill, and I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. Killer modern thrash metal from Peru with that raw edge that I really love about the production, and it's not too clean like I said before, and these guys really knew what the fuck they were going for, and I cannot wait to interview them right here on Music of Destruction. Yes, Maze of Terror is going to be interviewed right here on the channel as well, so please look forward to that. I want to give some shout-outs to my great friend Gail Cartwright of Shadows of Death Records. Upcoming concert from him is going to feature Anna Maria with Sagrado as headliners. He's going to be signing Sagrado later on this year, along with Anna Maria. So if you're in the Philippines, make sure you check that out. It's going to be an amazing concert. I can't wait to come up, give you guys some live footage and tell you all about that concert. It's going to be a great review there. Also, a shout out to Metal Ben's Chronicles, a great friend of mine, great fellow metal YouTuber. Also, King of Swords, another guy I'm going to be collaborating with, doing some videos with. Lots of great metal YouTubers, Acid Metal, all these cool kids and friends of mine that I know. Make sure you guys have a great night, and thank you very much for watching. And as always, stay fucking metal. We will see you tomorrow for the review of Cattle Decapitation's brand new album, Death Atlas. Can't wait to get that one out for you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.